hiding in the face a while ago. Okay, enough. This is the finals. Wardy.
the finals bracket quarter. It's just
in the quarterfinals of the Wardy Open number 44, spawning in the top right. Playing for Team Basilisk, it is Reynor.
And in the bottom left, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid is going to be Clem. And as you can see, the stakes are truly on the line because now barbecue is up for grabs.
Truly, the stakes are on the line. Although, I don't think you eat a lot of steak when you're in Korea. Both of them right now, of course, in Korea, as everyone should know, practicing hard for the upcoming World Championship. And having a cheeky barbecue together every now and again as well. They're discussing who's going to pay for it. As we see Clem opening up with his standard barracks gas, nothing weird going on. At the same time, Reynor hatch first into gas pool is what my feeling is leading me towards, Wardy. What do you think?
Well, if your feeling is leading you there, I'll get by it. You're very rarely wrong, so I'll believe in your feeling. There's the gas. Well, he's gonna do it. It's the pool. You should put on like some lottery numbers or something as well.
I would love it. You know what's interesting is that right now it feels like there's two major openers in TvZ. From the Terran side of things, you got your 2 Rex Reaper stuff, right? Which can go into anything. And then you also have your triple CC, 6 Hellion Banshee. I think those are the two most common starters. You know, if we go over the past 150 games, I think those two will well, each one of them will be, representing a significant portion of those games. Maybe Trigger pays for it since he stalls. Poor Trigger. Trigger got knocked out in round 2.
Trigger didn't even sign up today, man. Just like
he's like, there's no point. To be extremely fair. Oh, look at these two guys having such a good time together. Reynor's been living in Korea for quite a while now. Like I think 5-6 months or so. I think he has he's renting an apartment for at least a year. He might stay a little bit longer, but he's enjoying his life there very much so. The mecca of esports. The mecca of getting cheap food on the street as well, man. Korean food is very tasty and not so pricey when you go out to eat. So I'm a big fan of that place in general. This is good control, by the way, in this Reaper. It's going to get 1 link and gets to run away. Did use his grenade, so threatening the creep tumor is not going to be possible anymore.
Yep. This means it has to step back, but still not a bad start for it at all. Double CC behind it from Clem, so he's going to have 3 command centers in total, which is obviously just very standard macroed up. We'll see what kind of tech he wants to go with to accompany that. Obviously, we know Banshees are very popular. Clem especially loves his Banshee blade because it's so good at keeping them alive and getting so much out of it. We'll see very shortly as obviously the factory gets to the reactor. Hellions will start to build, and the early game gets solidified here. As Clem just takes his extra gas as well. And obviously still kind of eyes on Reynor as to what he wants to get up to. He'll be back into gas at some point soon, I'd imagine, and starting to think about his future of this game.
Oop. Tumor does finish up here. Was a little bit close there for a second. Clem is being so active with this Reaper. He's always using it pretty much on full health regeneration, and then takes a couple of hits to the face, goes back in again, takes a couple of hits to the face. First 2 Hellions are now popping out as well. So we're gonna get the swap of the starport onto the onto the tech lab that was produced by the barracks, and indeed it's going to be Banshee with or without cloak, still to be seen. Usually when we watch Clem play, it's going to be with the cloak, right?
Mm-hmm. Almost always. Like, he's so good at keeping it alive and like keeping it around for later. That cloak, even if it doesn't get used straight away, sometimes can like help him get a bit more damage later or deny some extra creep tumors. So I think it's just almost always just a good investment for Clem. Like, he gets so much out of these Banshees, you may as well make them as good as possible, right?
Yeah. Nah, absolutely. You know, tech lab, yeah, there's a follow-up. Oh, he's gonna go mech.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah. I mean, it's a completely different vibe here, Wardy.
Yeah. There's very few occasions that Clem has mech, specifically against Reynor as well. I remember one of them was that surprise time he brought it out in it was an ESL regional way back, like when we were still locked indoors and stuff for a while. So yeah, that was one of them. It was a big win that he got with it. I can't remember what that map name was. I can see the map, but I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, he does this very, very rarely, but he's gonna crank it out.
Could you draw the map for me, maybe?
Did I draw it for you? No.
Yeah, draw where the bases are and the texture, the color.
I'm sure if I just type in Clem, mech Reynor, one of the YouTube clickbaiters will have it.
No. Yes, they will, but it's not as interesting as you having to draw it on paint and providing you with hex codes. I think I would much prefer that. Ooh, we have a Hellion move coming in. I thought he was going to swing into the third base, but Clem respects Reynor enough that he's not going to do that. We have the hyperbolic flight rotors, what's it called? Hyperflight rotors coming in. The speed for the Banshee. We have 2 Banshees out already. These bad boys have Cloak. And we have triple factories coming up behind this as well. We're heading into a macro game. Hellion Cyclone Banshee is going to be the name of the game. There was a period of time actually where Clem almost exclusively played mech, and it was all the thought is one queen's going to go down, second queen in some trouble, will get transfused and saved. This was before Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2022, if I recall correctly. A great tournament in which Clem ended up not beating Dark in the group stage and not making it out of the group stage, I'm pretty sure. But he was playing a lot of mech back then, and a lot of European Zerg players were deadly afraid of it.
Yeah. It's crazy to think back on. It's been such a long time as those Lings, by the way, going to get roasted a little bit. These Hellions obviously able to have a good time, and they're going to have access into this natural node. This is super scary for Reynor, whose defense is going to be trying to run a couple queens in position, but that doesn't save the natural expansion. It just stops you going up into the main base. A lot of drones going down, so Reynor's going to be in some serious trouble here. And because of the way that Clem's playing, because it's Hellion, Cyclone, Banshee, he's going to have a lot of follow-up for this, right? Like, to me, this is what mech usually struggles with, where, you know, a lot of the time you just don't have the follow-up to kind of take advantage of, oh, I killed a bunch of drones. But with this group of units, you much more so have that kind of chance.
Absolutely. These Banshees dealt a lot of damage to the hatchery. You might want to just throw 1 or 2 transfusers on there so you get a little bit of pre-healing going already in case this guy decides to come back with 4 or maybe 5 Banshees later on in the game. We have more factories being added in, so we're going to go up to 5 factory. Armory comes down post 5th factory. And we're going to be bumping Cyclones like our life depends on it right now. The damage output of those Banshees is phenomenal, of course. He's now going to try to get a couple more drones, gets 2 of them over here. One of these Banshees can be sent back. This would be insane on torches as well, by the way. Flying around with Banshees and then sending them to heal in the free healing spot. Hell yeah.
Yep. No, that's definitely one of the benefits of torches on the map, right? You have that healing shrine that does not have any blockers on it, so... yeah, it would be kind of nuts as we have these Cyclones able to lock on. Overlord going down. Reynor supply blocked, so this is just going from kind of rough to worse realistically because he's having to build a ton of Overlords right now. Clem's clearing up all of the creep. And he's going to be penned in on 4 bases with just a Terran army that's out the front that's just going to keep on hitting him in the face and just taking very effective trades. Like, there's not really a way to stop this right now. Reynor does not have the units out to really do anything about this group of units.
Yeah, and as long as this 5th base is getting denied as well, it's going to be tricky to kind of continue expanding on. I believe we're going to go for a full 4-base Hydra Ling Bane attack. We don't have Baneling speed quite yet, but that's kind of what it feels like it's leading up towards. I don't understand exactly how else Reynor is planning on playing this game. There's no infestation pit. I mean, this 5th base is going to get cancelled for a 3rd or a 4th time over here. Beautiful army split as well here. Hellion Cyclone on the right. Banshee on the left, and both of these groups just getting so much value out of their movement.
Well, those Hydras again whacked up a little bit as well as they try to kind of make some distance, but every single time those Lings start to attack, the Hellions just start to really rip through their numbers. He does get a good few Cyclones here, but again, like Clem at this point, he's on 82 workers. He's okay with taking trades like this, right? Like if they're trading out, I'm just kind of fine with that. He's got a lot more on the way. He's going to have Banshees showing up right now, and there's no Overseers, so these Banshees are just going to get a bunch of the Hydralisks, Lings, whatever they can reach. Now there's a Detect showing up, so we do chase them away, but only one Banshee lost. The other gets away super low HP.
Yeah. The main issue for Clem right now isn't really the income, it is more that his production hasn't caught up with his income quite yet. So he really needs those 3 extra factories to finish up. They're doing that just now. We're probably going to get full tech labs on those and go 6 tech lab double reactor. Once you have that, you can start trading like crazy as the Cyclone player here. You have Banshees controlling the extra expansions and then Hellion Cyclone for full-on trades. As long as you're not getting fully surrounded, it's going to be impossible for Reynor here to get anything good done.
Yep. This is very tough. We are going to have an attempted surround here. The Ling's trying to get around the back. There's not really quite the numbers to make it happen, though, and so we are going to break 3 of those Lings, and we're just going to get back up this ramp and trying to lock onto Hydras and taking those down instead. Every time a Hydra dies, it's just an expense for Reynor that he just can't really continue to reproduce. Again, 81 drones is fine and all, but he's just losing them in such a rapid rate. Now the Banshee's going to get rid of a few drones as well, so A little bit of a hit to the economy here, and Clem continues to be an absolute frustration in this opening game.
Yeah, a real Terran menace as the vehicle plating level 2 starts over here for our Terran player as well. Once again, plops up this ramp, sees a bunch of Ling Hydra. It's gonna say hello to that. Banshee count is starting to dwindle right now, and Reynor has had some decent surround attempts. Here we go once more. Lings are going to connect with the Cyclones, but the stutter stepping on these things is apparently good enough to free themselves. You have the Cyclones on the left, which are moving away. The control here is insane. Feels like we're watching freaking Alpha Star with different groups being pulled back and moved forward at the same time. Clem is going to take a major W here in game number 1.
Comes like, look, if I'm having to pick, we maybe get away to game 3 today. As in the top right of the map, our red Terran player who's up 1-0 is going to be Clem.
Hell yeah. And in the bottom left, he is going to need to change things up. And he might. It is a Reynor. Yeah, Overlord first again. Boring. I would have loved to see some gasless play out of Reynor against this kid. But it's not what we're doing over here. You know what's really the issue in that last game as well? Is that initial Hellion run by, right? Actually, that is probably the entire issue in that last game. Like, you're never capable of stabilizing. You're never getting a 5th base. Your creep spread feels terrible. Like, even if you're losing creep spread on top of those ramps, then you know it's pretty much over, because then they occupy your high grounds, and once they occupy your high grounds with Cyclone, dude, life is gonna freaking suck. This map usually we don't see mech due to how strong Adrax is.
Adrax is pretty darn powerful, and Clem is definitely not afraid of just stepping into an Adrax a lot of the time. He has the strength to just make it look very good most of the time he does it, so always feels good. Not so much for the Zerg though. Was it? I feel like recently we talked about Adrax being strong on this map, and then someone did like the one thing that really dies to Adrax, and we're like, sat here question, was that last week?
Was that Ling Infestor out of Reynor versus Beyond?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That was like last week or so, right?
I forgot about Reynor liking Ling Infestor. He was playing this weird Carapace opener for a little bit as well, wasn't he? I wonder if he still does it. So this is the really cool thing, that usually before major tournaments, people are cycling through their like kind of internal meta game very quickly to try and, you know, settle on whatever works best. So you'll see people throw a lot of kind of weird stuff out there and see what they can settle on. And Reynor has definitely been experimenting a lot. We saw some Ling Infestor coming out of him. We saw that fast like Evo Chamber rush into quick Carapace. And well, today we saw that Hydra Ling Bane 5 hatch before layer tag out of him against Classic as well. So he's definitely been cooking a little bit. I'm not sure how much I'm liking the dishes so far, but at least he's trying, you know. He can always kind of default back to what he already knows, but he's trying to figure out some new things here for the EWC.
Maybe gets in for a few shots. A couple of drones continue to produce through. Hatchery, Queen, all on the way out currently, as we just have 2 more command centers building from Clem. So once more, heading quickly towards the 3CC. I mean, it's very rare that Clem does not play the triple command center, right? So just gonna head into that. Obviously, from there you have such a breadth of opportunities and builds that you can go into. So everything is available, and the starport starts up as well. I mean, this game could look very similar to the last game for a while, and then eventually just doesn't throw down the extra gases and play mech, right? You can just play bio off the same opening, right? So much potential, while things still look the same.
Something that's interesting, by the way, which I've thought for a while, is that Clem never low ground CCs. I think it is the single most underrated trick right now in high level play. Is low ground command center, because no one except for Gumiho does it, and it has obvious value, and very often it doesn't get punished when Gumiho does it. So why do none of the other Terrans do it? It's because they're afraid of taking risk in a matchup that they know is good for them in the early game. I think that's the reason why.
It just feels unnecessary.
Yeah, but it only feels unnecessary if you already feel that your standard early game is much better than what the other guy has, right?
Sure. Otherwise, why not take every risk you can?
Well, or just a little risk every now and again, especially if it so often goes unpunished. I'm a huge fan of taking risks that go unpunished. I'm also a big fan of taking risks that do get punished and then taking them again. I like taking risk.
Says a lot about your playstyle.
Yeah. But just in StarCraft 2, though. Not in real life,
Not in
I'm
real
very
life?
afraid of things. Yeah,
Very,
real
very
life,
normal, standard guy.
I know I play it safe. I like too safe often,
Yeah.
you know? A very risk-averse personality, absolutely. That's why I became a StarCraft 2 pro gamer, which we all know is a blossoming career.
Blossoming career with a future that's just set in stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stable career. You can do it well until, you know, until you retire. Then can find something else, so... Yeah, definitely different. Okay, here comes... Well, it's not a super fast Evo chamber, actually, but it's a decent timing.
Yeah.
Here come the 6 cars.
They get turned away to the left side. Stim starting up as well. Obviously, seen the bio play this time from Clem, so the difference is coming around as he just looks for opening with these Hellions, but so far not going to find much of anything. Tries around on the left-hand side once again, still not going to get much done there. Good defense by the Queens, right? Just keeping this back, obviously not spreading the creep while the cars are nearby, so the cars are still kind of doing indirect damage just by being around.
Ah, look at this. We're gonna have a full scout. Reynor wants to know whether it's mech or bio. I don't think he scouted Clem like this in a little while. You know, is this mech scout? That's funny to see. So we're gonna get the quick carapace out of him. He's gonna be quite happy with all of this. In general, his early game has been okay. Double Banshee now showing up. Ooh, there's no Overseer quite yet. We do have 5 queens in a position and a nearby Spore that can perhaps push onto the Fort base location. Today's queen count is insane. Now what do we have? We have 9 queens already. 6 minutes into the game. That is a big number here, Wardy.
Yep, it's going to be a big part of his defense throughout these early stages as the Banshees really want to try and find this hatchery, and a Spore is not in reach, but one of the Banshees runs out of energy. Still going to get the cancel and gets away. Wow. Such a frustration. Well, fuck, Reynor, he probably feels as though that was meant to be just a very safe base to get open online.
Absolutely. Infestation pit about to finish up here, so it is going to be Ling Infestor. Now, the first Infestors won't be out in time for the first drop. And from what I can recall is that the strongest thing to do against this was some type of Hellbat push, right? Like a tank Marine Hellbat, or just a 1-1 tank Marine seems pretty powerful as well. Because you just have so many Marines, and Ling does not scale well against high Marine count. So you get 24 Marines with 1-1, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Right side base was being attacked, but for some reason Clem is giving up. I think he was afraid of being surrounded there. You have that ramp that is nearby the 5th, and I don't think he wanted to kind of risk it.
Makes sense. As you actually have a big group of units from Reynor going to send themselves up to the top left. Everything from Clem's focusing bottom right currently, so if there's an opportunity for Reynor on that top left, it definitely should be there, right? Because Clem's just not in position at all. He will have some reinforcements, though. We'll see how heavily Reynor hits, as Clem is going to get rid of that bottom right hatchery here in the next couple of moments, so that's an easy cancel on the 5th base. Reynor going to run at this front door, but there's Marines and a siege tank, and immediately just turns around, so... Yeah, nothing
Did spot
for
the forward base though, so he knows it's not going to be an Adrax. That is nice info already. Reynor also already has really freaking quick Ultra, so his eco isn't great. Actually, nothing is really great for him, but his tech timing is phenomenal. Fast Ultra Cavern, really quick Adrenal Glands as well, and his creep spread wasn't looking too poor until these 2-3 tumors were being taken out here by Clem.
A bit more creep. Cleaned up again, the Marines and the Hellions joined back together over toward the left-hand side. And of course, Clem, if nothing else, has just had so much presence on this map this game. He's going to get rid of a bunch of active tumors here once again, right? And this is the sort of thing that just makes it very difficult for Reynor, not having that kind of, you know, boosted speed, that boosted vision all the way through to the middle of the map. I mean, Clem's going to push very far forward. Reynor has a massive counter-attack as Zergling's heading to the other side, so they have some opportunity perhaps. They're going to start committing. Meanwhile, this left side base of Reynor is in trouble. He's going to clean out the 3rd base of Clem. There's a lot of SCVs going down, 17, and honestly, these Lings can turn around now and maybe be used for the cleanup.
Yeah, he's going to need to keep one of his side bases alive pretty much here. Like, he wants the mine from that. And if Clem doesn't push towards the left side 5th, and he doesn't kill the right side, then honestly, Reynor here did an okay job. No, killed 17 SCVs, lost the hatchery, but no workers. Survived till Ultralisk are going to be out. We have Infestors with quite a bit of energy as well. I think we have, what is that, 6 Fungals available right now. Like, this is looking very decent.
I'm glad he didn't waste much trying to dive in or slow that down from Clem, right? He just let it happen and then obviously forced Clem back by the trouble he was causing on the other side. Clem is going to go for the bottom right, but as you mentioned, there is the 9 o'clock base from Reynor that he still has hold of, so that should keep him going for a while here as the Marines do get a cancel up on this hatchery, so that will go down. We will get a lift up once again. As the ultras start to show up, and again, those infestors available too. A fungal here could actually be pretty deadly to this group of units. Clem sees it coming and he gets up. Reynor did not drop the fungal though. As Clem will continue to try and bait it.
You think he's just sitting there waiting until the fungal drops? Yeah, he was. At the same time, Clem is moving through the middle. Just a single ultra there is not going to be good enough. Chitinous plating finishes up just now. So these Marines actually dealt a little bit of damage as well. Clem, by the way, went for Adrax before second factory. So much faster Marauder production, but much slower with extra tanks or drilling claws on the mines. Another big Ling run by coming in towards the third base right now. So we have pretty much a 3-base Reynor versus pretty much a 3-base Clem. The right side base really needs to start mining soon. We have 76 workers out, and we just don't have the bases to, to get those minerals.
Yeah, Clem did what you asked him to do basically, right? Which was like those side bases, one of them needs to go down, and then he's going to be in a good spot. And he did he did deny both, and now we're still at the point where we're trying to rebuild that bottom right one again, right? So it's been an extended period. Reynor was just not mined from a fourth, and that's given Clem the chance now to obviously max out very comfortably. Get, as you say, Marauders up, and that's going to allow him to have a good or better answer to the Ultras that are out. Obviously, there are still some mines. There are a couple of Liberators out as well. But in general, just wants to make sure this army can take on what Reynor's got. Right now, it definitely feels like that's the case. I feel as though Reynor's going to be swinging hard with those fungals and trying to catch something major with those. Otherwise, this game's getting out of reach.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need some fungals. Here comes the Ultra army. Ultra flank as well coming from the bottom side as the links now are going to be sent in somewhere. These mines are not going to be capable of connecting quite yet. Marauders are getting caught and the door to the natural is left open. Meanwhile, what happened over here at the main fight, Wardy? Did you see that?
No, I was watching the run by as well, but I think the Ultras just kind of turned around from it. I don't think we really engaged in. The Zerglings are going to try and make their way up into the top side, so going to try and get through as we just have the bio chasing. I mean, those things are going to go down, so they're not really going to do that much apart from keep them with a few units at home for a little bit of time, force a scout or two, but this was well dealt with. 8 SCVs go down, but at this point 8 SCVs feel pretty replaceable, right? That's like 2 rounds of production. We're even getting 2 more CCs finishing, so at the point where those SCVs might not even get replaced. In fact, they haven't. It's just more unit production.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like for Clem is his lack of factory units that are powerful. So we don't have mines with drilling claws. We do have a lot of mines in general, but everything else for him is just so freaking good right now. Where the infestors are making their way onto the map, we have 2 to be exact, both of them on the right side, and the main push is coming from the left. It could be an issue over here for Reynor. He's going to lose this, well, what once the 4th base for what feels like a 3rd or a 4th time. Clem has a lot of cash in the bank. Clem has a very big army. Clem is going to have 3-3 upgrades soon, and Clem is now pushing onto the area between the natural and the 3rd, and I think Reynor's in a world of trouble.
Uh-oh, that Evo Chamber as well, plus 2 melee might not get a finish up here if Clem gets back onto it. I mean, it may not even come down to that because this fight's being forced. The Liberators are in good positions, and Clem is just going to sit here and sit between the bases and kind of force Reynor into just bad decisions, right? Like, there's no good way to really engage into a point like this. You can try and come from all angles if at all possible, but it's going to be tough. The Queens are buying some time with some transfusions. That's about it. At least he did finish his upgrades, though, so Reynor will have 2-3 to try and help him win some sort of a fight right now.
Yeah, I think that's what Reynor was waiting for us. He's going to pull the trigger right about now. Infestor coming from the back, and we get a fungal. We get a good fungal. Second Infestor on Burrows, but doesn't get anything done. This was as good a fight as Reynor could have gotten here, but it's still not good enough, as Clem is going to take this series with a swift 2-0 victory.